Good afternoon. This webinar offers closed captioning. To enable closed captioning, click on the blue widget or the CC in the box located on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Welcome to the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection webinar. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. Please note, any website or email that I mentioned will be posted in the chat box. All BACP offices are open to limited members of the public. Masks are required in all BACP facilities. For those seeking business license assistance, we strongly encourage the processing of licenses and permits online. Business license can be applied for or renewed online at chicagobusinessdirect.org, or you can call 312-74-GO-BIZ. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. To learn more about this program, please visit chicago.gov/business education. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be available at youtube.com/Chicago BACP. We would like to encourage all attendees to ask questions. Please put your questions in the chat box. There will be a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. Today's webinar is entitled Access to Capital. At this time, I will now turn the webinar over to Yessenia, I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yessenia Diaz de Leon. I'm with Allies for Community Business. Super excited to be with you all this afternoon to share what I hope are really valuable resources and information on how we help entrepreneurs. So I'll go ahead and share my presentation, and obviously we'll have time at the end for questions. All right. Hopefully everyone can see my screen all right. Can I get maybe a cue from somebody verbally, since I can't see anyone in the chat? I'll take that as a yes. All right. Awesome. So again, Yessenia Diaz de Leon, I am the Director of Community Lending here at Allies for Community Business. We are a nonprofit CDFI, which is a community development financial institution. Whose vision is that entrepreneurs from any background can start and grow businesses that create generational wealth for their families and their communities. The way that we execute on this vision is through our day-to-day work and our mission, which is to provide the capital, coaching, and connections that our entrepreneurs need to grow these great businesses. Keep these three C's in mind as I'll dive into each of these three offerings in more detail in the subsequent slides. On the capital front, we deliver capital in two forms, whether it's a loan or grant. On the loan front, we offer small business loans and lines of credit anywhere between $500 and $100,000 to entrepreneurs in early, emerging, and established businesses at what we consider to be very fair prices. On the grant front, obviously, whenever there are grant programs available for our small business owners to take advantage of, we always encourage them to apply for those first. So we frequently manage various grant programs with partners who share in our mission to provide these funds to business owners who need them to put them to good use in their communities. We'll share, this presentation will include links to our websites as well, but I highly encourage everyone to visit our website as we're constantly updating that grant programming section of it as grants become available. Some of the more, I guess, notable ones or larger ones are grants like B2B. BIG was another one that we were helping to administer, and there are still some grants open right now for entrepreneurs who might be interested. So I encourage everyone to check that out to see if you meet those eligibility criteria. To dive into loans, which is sort of where a lot of my time is spent in working with small business owners. Again, loans or lines of credit anywhere between $500 and $100,000 at our cap. for entrepreneurs really at any stage of their business. So again, early, emerging, or established, which also means true startup businesses, or more mature established businesses in Illinois and Indiana. I know this says we're a little different from other lenders. I like to think we're very different from other lenders, especially in regards to the use of credit scores slash us not using credit scores. So we will do our due diligence and we do run credit as part of our analysis. However, the actual credit score will not impact our final decision on your application. We also do not place liens on your personal assets, meaning we do not require collateral for our loans or lines of credit. We simply place a blanket UCC lien on the business for all of our small business owners, and again, don't require the pledging of any collateral. What we do is evaluate how well you manage your debts, specifically over the last 2 years, and how much cash you have available to make a monthly payment on a loan or line of credit with us. Essentially, we still want to make sure that we're putting our entrepreneurs in a good position, setting you up for success, and not extending a loan that would then be difficult to repay. Our loan requests can be approved or evaluated in as little as 24 hours for eligible borrowers. And this is in part due to a very streamlined application and evaluation process, which I'll dive into in a sec. But on occasion, we might ask for additional follow-up questions or documentation that can take a few days beyond the 24-hour mark. Our interest rate, as I mentioned in our previous slide, we consider to be very fair prices. Right now, we're running a promotional interest rate of 3% with a 3% closing fee with a standard term of 24 months. The standard term of 24 months tends to be because most of our loans are working capital loans and tend to be around $13,000 to $15,000, so really micro loans, and that term is therefore relatively small. I'll get into our credit builder program as well, since those terms can be shorter since they're smaller loans. We divide our lending offerings depending on the size of the request and the credit history. So for any loan up to $25,000, as I mentioned before, we're not going to consider your credit score, but rather key data points, which are read essentially by our algorithm. It's all automated. Key data points on your credit report. And those data points are making sure that in the last 2 years or 24 months, there haven't been any bankruptcies or non-medical collections larger than $500. In the last 12 months, has our entrepreneur made has the entrepreneur made on-time payments on at least one trade line, and have all those payments been on time on your open trade lines? And today, so at the time of application, do you have at least 25% availability on your revolving accounts to draw upon? So if the answer to all three of these is yes, which is read by our algorithms, then what our loan platform will do is extend a pre-approval amount of 1.5 times the largest trade line that our small business owner has repaid on over the last 12 months. So let's just say, for example, you're applying for a $10,000 loan. You meet these criteria, meaning no collections or charge-offs in the last 2 years, no bankruptcies, on-time payments, availability is met, and the largest amount you've ever paid on is, say, $10,000. The algorithm is going to pre-approve you for $15,000 or the largest amount you're requesting, right? So it's really meant to facilitate or streamline the way that we're giving these pre-approvals and giving access to capital for our small business owners. For a step two entrepreneur, so this is someone who perhaps doesn't meet one of these 3 credit components. So for example, maybe there was one slow pay in the last 12 months. Maybe the availability criteria isn't met. All that means is that instead of an automated pre-approval or offering at the time of application, you'll be given the option to provide documentation for full underwriting. For loans up to 25,000, our entrepreneur has the option of selecting either the 3 most recent business and personal bank statements, or your 3 most recent business and personal taxes, or your your year-to-date financials. So we'll take that to full underwriting to determine at which thresholds you meet our debt service coverage ratios or debt to income ratios to extend a loan offer. Now, for someone who I'd like to say has bruised credit, perhaps there are collections greater than $500, maybe there's several slow pays in the last 12 months, we can still work with you on what we call a credit builder loan. So our credit builder, essentially product or program, is between $500 and $2,500 for entrepreneurs who are looking to both build or repair credit and also have some access to funds for their business. That product requires 3 most recent months of business and personal bank statements. And we're looking for what we're calling a current debt capacity calculation on those, which is essentially looking at what the average ending balances in your personal and business bank statements are, to then extend a loan offer up to $2,500. For someone who doesn't meet the criteria, even for that current debt capacity calculation for credit builders, we can still work with you. So I hope I'm getting the point across that we really want to work with entrepreneurs, regardless of the situation that they might be in. So if someone doesn't qualify for a credit builder because of cash flow, we'll carry you through a series of coaching activities, which I'll talk about our coaching program. And upon completion of those, be able to extend essentially a $500 starter loan. I'll get into that in a sec as well. For those larger loan requests, so loans between $25,000 and $100,000, the credit criteria are the same. So we're still looking at your credit history essentially and making sure that you meet the 24 months of no bankruptcies or non-medical collections greater than $500. You've had those on-time payments over the last 12 months, and that you meet our availability criteria. The key difference here is that you'll notice we have an or right here. So below 25,000 or up to 25,000, you provide us one of these sets of documents. For above 25,000, you have to meet the credit criteria and provide us all 3 of these documentation packets for us to submit to underwriting. So we'll request your 3 most recent business and personal bank statements, 3 most recent business and personal taxes, and your year-to-date financials to submit to our underwriters and determine at which thresholds at which loan amount you meet our debt service coverage and debt to income ratios. Switching gears just a bit to talk about our coaching program. So we offer free one-on-one coaching to anyone in Illinois or Indiana that either has a business or is interested in starting a business. So we do this we schedule these one-on-one sessions via Calendly on our webpage as well. Really trying to meet our entrepreneurs where they're at. If you'd like a video conferencing call or phone call, making sure that we're available to our small business owners to discuss their coaching needs. We also have group coaching offerings, which tend to be in a cohort program. including our Neighborhood Entrepreneurship Lab. And then we also offer assistance with licensing and certification needs that entrepreneurs might need as they grow their business. So if you're looking to get your WBE, your MBE certification, those are things that we're also able to assist with. And you might have recalled that I, one of our earlier slides, split up our small business owners by stages, or what we call stages, over at A4CB, which are the early, emerging, and established stages. So this slide sort of highlights the different free coaching offerings that we have available depending on where you are in your business. So if you're a true startup, maybe just have a business idea, need to formalize it, we would be in that early stage business category. Our business coaches would be able to help you with your business plan, with your financial projections, providing some free tools that we have available for our small business owners to actually put everything down on paper. So we're using sort of online platforms to help with the tracking of your projections, of your execution on your business plan, encouraging the use of free online accounting bookkeeping systems. As you can see from here, planning to launch your business, planning for stability, etc. For our emerging businesses, maybe you've been around for a year, maybe you're looking to improve the financial management of your business, maybe you're launching new products, etc. We're also able to assist with that for our emerging businesses. And then the more established businesses who might be interested in attracting investors, maybe those are the ones that we assist with on their certifications if they're looking to acquire contracts or planning for succession or acquisition. Again, all of these are offered in the form of free one-on-one coaching sessions with a member of our team. Under our sort of umbrella of coaching as well, we have the licensing and procurement services as well, which I sort of talked about briefly, but our organization is one of the 8 Chicago regional business centers that's able to help with those licensing needs. So you don't have to make the trip out to City Hall if you're not able to. And then again, helping with the certification needs depending on your industry and what you're looking to do to grow your business. Again, all of these are offered free in the form of coaching sessions. And I should say, coaching and lending, you don't have to have any interest in a loan or have a loan application or anything like that to take advantage of the coaching. It truly is a free service. And we've created a path, as I sort of alluded to, from coaching to lending for those entrepreneurs who are interested and qualify. On that third C that I mentioned on our, I think, first slide on connections. So if you recall, capital, coaching, connections. Here we have our kitchen space, procurement, and other service providers. So our actual office is located in a building called the Hatchery, which is essentially a food and beverage like incubator space full of shared kitchens, shared and individual kitchen spaces for people interested in either starting or growing a business in the food and beverage industry. Again, helping them at every stage of their business, assisting with the procurement of contracts, leveraging our institutional partners, and then also making connections to our other service providers. This just sort of highlights a little bit more about the kitchen space at the Hatchery, which is the actual physical building where our office is located. Again, meant to cater, no pun intended there, cater to entrepreneurs in the food and beverage industry with 54 private kitchen spaces, 5 shared kitchen spaces, also helping people who might be interested in getting into the food and beverage industry, perhaps not as an entrepreneur, but who want training for like food safety, who want training to become a chef, etc. We do have a 12-week training program for aspiring young chefs. And then since we are obviously a mission-driven blender slash nonprofit, we partner with local organizations, one being the in Garfield Park, we have a lot of organizations that we work with to have a neighborhood market. So essentially, we showcase our West Side entrepreneurs since we are located on the West Side, and allow them or give them the space to sell or promote their products. We have them normally on Saturdays. It's not every Saturday, but I encourage you all to kind of check out our site as stuff becomes available, because we don't have them right now, but it's either outdoors or indoors, depending on the weather. And again, it's a great opportunity to meet small business owners that we work with, and support and purchase their products. Through our partnership with ICNC, also offering at the hatchery adult training and job placement programs and support for our West Side employers. I talk really, really fast. So these are all of our links to both our website, the loan application, again, encouraging people to schedule those free coaching sessions, or refer clients that might be interested in working with us. So I'll stop sharing my screen, and I'd be really happy to answer any questions. Oh, I see there's a lot of stuff in the chat already. Can a loan be used for working capital? Yes. So most of our loans are working capital loans at 24-month term. One thing that I don't think I mentioned about our credit builder loans is that those are at 12-month terms. But working capital long-term asset acquisition is also a business purpose. We have a lot of clients in like the trucking industry or transportation industry looking to acquire a truck or a trailer. So we're able to help with that as well. We do work with nonprofits, yes. We're able to lend to nonprofits and also offer our coaching services. The hatchery is on the corner, it's right on the corner of Kedzie and Lake. Yep. For Betty, if you'd like to email me directly so I can get you in contact with our point people at the hatchery, I'd love to get you connected and make sure that we are able to help you out there. And I'll drop in my my email in the chat as well. There is lots of questions about Spanish. Yes, we do have bilingual staff. I'm one of them, so we can certainly help entrepreneurs who speak Spanish, either on the coaching front or lending front. We also lend to ITIN clients. That's something that is also unique. You do you have a business? You do not have to have business credit to get a loan. Again, we are running your personal credit. So our loan will report to your personal credit and are looking for those 3 key credit criteria. No business credit is required, / we also don't report to business credit. So many questions. We're on real estate. We are able to lend for the purpose of acquiring real estate. We haven't done very many, and in part that's because our cap is at 100,000. And we, not to get too in the weeds with credit policy, but we don't lend for like speculative purposes or property flipping. So if the purpose is to acquire a property and then flip it, we don't do that. I can again maybe we can touch base to get more details about what specifically you're looking to do. This is from Darnisha, and I'm gonna put in my my direct info in the chat as well. I hope I'm not skipping over any of these here. Emerging businesses. So emerging businesses, really that would be, you know, you've exceeded the, say, 6 month of revenue mark. The early stages is a startup. Emerging, you're past that 6 month mark, you've made sales already, you're not quite at the point where you still need to, you know, do your business plan. That would be emerging. Sorry, I keep toggling and the questions move around. Will the copy of the slides be emailed? I don't know if our BACP help can maybe answer that one. I don't have the email addresses for participants to send that over. But if any of you want to follow up with me directly, I will drop my email in the chat and I can share this information via email as well. So many questions. So for Javier, bank statements, personal and business. So 3 months of personal, 3 months of business. And the BK, yes, we are looking at both. Business, it reports to personal credit. Our level loans report to personal credit. We do ask for verification of the EIN. So we do our due diligence to make sure that this is an actual business. We're running searches with the Secretary of State to make sure that it's in good standing, and check the UCC filings for any existing liens as well. All right, do you lend? So the worker cooperative question from Gabriel, that's an interesting one actually. We haven't done any yet. I'd love to chat with you more about that. Essentially, we need a guarantor, right? So someone needs to sign as the majority owner of the business, which might be a little bit not challenging in the model that you're describing. But essentially, to give more detail on who all needs to sign, we require anyone with 20% or more ownership in the business to sign on the loan, but we only evaluate credit and financials for the majority owner. So again, we can touch base on your specific situation to see what we can do here. On the business credit, so Oceloca, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. We lend to true startups, right? So you don't have to have any credit at all even to access financing with us. And we're not looking at business credit, we're looking at your personal credit. Why do we need personal and business bank statements? That's a great question. So a lot of our clients, we do work with a lot of sole props, a lot of like DBA type of entrepreneurs. And the way we've structured our debt to income and debt service coverage ratio calculations are meant to do a global analysis, especially because there tends to be, at least in our experience, a lot of commingling finances between personal and business, which we certainly also work with you on the coaching front to make sure that those are separated out if that is the case. But we want to understand holistically, what are your finances right now and can you afford additional debt, which is also in pulling your personal credit, making sure that your personal finances can also support the additional debt. For Crystal, the criteria for credit, I assume, is your question. So we're looking at in the last 24 months, no bankruptcies or non-medical collections or charge-offs greater than $500. In the last 12 months, have you made on-time payments on your open trade lines and / have you had a trade line that you've been making payments on for 12 months? And currently, do you have at least 25% availability to draw on your revolving accounts? On the grant question, apologies, I don't have those requirements sort of memorized just because there are several different grants on our website. But I would encourage you to visit that website. Under grants, I think there are maybe 4 or 5 on that site right now, or on that part of our site right now, and they all have different requirements and different deadlines. So I apologize for not having that top of my head, but encourage you to check out that site. All right. I think I've answered some of these are sort of repeat questions. Yeah, you can be outside of Chicago. We lend to anyone in Illinois or Indiana, lend to startups. Don't report to business credit. Yeah, again, I hope I'm not totally missing one that's very different, but I think for the most part, they're very similar questions. There's one here, if for startup businesses, if you don't have a business bank statement, if you are a true startup business, don't have a business bank statement, then we will look at your personal bank statements and also have you work with one of our business coaches on 6 coaching activities as a startup before we can get to a final approval. So that one of those activities is opening up a business bank account so that we can make sure that we're, again, setting you up for success and have your business and personal finances separated. Yeah, I think I answered most of them. For Evelyn, I know your question is in Spanish. Si quiere comunicarse conmigo, Evelyn, para proporcionar la información en español, con mucho gusto. And we do offer this information in Spanish as well, in partnership with other organizations or on our own with webinars. Awesome. Let me drop my email in this chat. And my direct number. All right, and the webinar is recorded. I think that's most of the questions. I'm not sure if our colleagues at BACP can answer. Where can we find the webinar again? We might have lost them here. We can hang out here. I'll drop in our website, a4cp.org. Maybe our colleagues were expecting this to run through 4:30 and I talk really fast. Yep, Darnisha, I did share my my info up on top. But I'll share that screen again with the links and our contacts, if that's helpful. Just a sec. So these are the links that I had kind of talked about here for our website, where to apply. how to schedule the coaching sessions, etc. And then this is my contact info. All right. Oh, I just saw posting on BACP website and social media pages. Sorry, I saw a request to put up previous slides. Let's share the screen again. And I'll leave it up for a little bit, just in case someone was jotting stuff down. All right, let me toggle back in the chat to see if there are any questions. Otherwise, I think we can probably wrap it up. Okay, well, I think at this point, if anyone has any additional sort of specific questions, please do email me. I'd be happy to follow up. Thank you.